It's like why I'm going live from where we at. Like we on our way out into nature. Actually, we're finna get out here, but before I did that, I had to get this download, you know what I'm saying, because I don't want none of our people, you know, to be misled by the propaganda, you know what I'm saying, that's being composed by those which we call the media in today's terminology. You feel me? So, I just want y'all to know that all my peers, elders as well, and then to the Blue Crystal babies, I'm sending y'all the Divas of Insight. I appreciate y'all. You all are the epitome of excellence. You feel me? The Blue Crystal babies, those 21 and under. All right, like I told you, age and time isn't real, but we do have energy cycles. You get what I'm saying? Energy cycles and etheric cycles. You know, and ethers. You get what I'm saying? These are just a more advanced of an advanced level of energy that we need to get used to. So the Blue Crystal babies, a lot of you guys, you came here on that on the highest of ethers. You know what I'm saying? We all non-ether beings, but the souls that are landing in this realm right now are getting older and older. There are no new souls here. So to give you an example of what I'm talking about, all the souls that was born in 1950, the souls that came in 1960 are much older than the souls that came in 1950. And then the souls that came in 1970s are much older than the souls that came in 1960s. And then the souls that came in the 1980s are much older than the souls that came in the 1970s. And the souls that came in the 1990s are much older than the souls. Now, I'm not going to say wiser, but much older. Anciently, the soul is more older than all the souls that came in the 80s. And the souls that came in 2000 to 2010 are older than the souls that came in the 90s. And the souls that came 2010 to 2020 are older than the souls that came 2000 to 2010. And on and on and on, because we are at war. Understand what's going on around you. All right? A lot of your children are much older and wiser than you. Okay? I mean, I don't want to keep using wiser, but are much older than you anciently in soul, because this is the way it is designed. We are taking the planet back, so there are no new souls being born. So that's why I want to send all my respect to all the Blue Crystal babies. You know, many of you are very, very advanced, powerful souls. You know, so definitely, I appreciate every time you come in here and you see through the propaganda, because even if we look at it now, like when I was in their age of what they like to call 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, right? I definitely knew I was aware of what was going on, but I didn't have the courage to be myself. So I was actually not helping the planet. I was actually like not tuned into this frequency that I should have been, because I already was aware of it. I wasn't tuned into this at them ages. I was doing some destructive, low vibrational shit. You get what I'm saying? But if you notice now, you see a lot of these. You got 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds. You got kids that's in here with their parents that's in the university. These are, why you think they could sit in and listen to the information? I think what we be talking about in here. You know, we talking about history, metaphysics, quantum physics, world politics, environmental science, real environmental science. We talking about the real environment when we talking about the planet being alive. We can put a category on this shit if we want to be technical. We don't do that. We just enlighten oneself in here. That's what we do. But we could categorize all this shit into multiple classes. The shit that we talk about. You know what I'm saying? So you got to pay attention to how they be in here. Right now, the university, 20 million plus TikTok views. That's the Blue Crystal babies, because they understand the mission. So they but then their baby's gonna be even. So you know, I just want y'all to understand what's going on the spiritual side, because this is the spiritual war that we are in. Do not get caught up in this flesh at all. And I feel like if we can remember that we are spirits and souls, all right, in these physical avatars, then we will understand what's going on with Russia and Ukraine right now. All right. So with Russia and Ukraine, as you see, we have the Hot Sauce 19 was like the talk of the world, and then they still pushing that. But they kind of taking the eyes off of that to throw you off. Because if you pay attention to the Hot Sauce 19, they actually have a new variant that they sliding out called BA.2 something. I had caught it and screenshotted it, but I'll say that for a later lecture. But notice all of a sudden, overall, they stopped talking about this Hot Sauce 19. All right, kind of like I say, it kind of like took a second fiddle, and then they start rolling out all this propaganda, building up, like promoting this fight between Russia and Ukraine. Now, if you look at the way a boxing match is promoted, because it's all actors, it's all crisis actors, paid actors, the shit ain't real. All the politicians, none of them is real. I've been told y'all this, right? A long time ago. I stopped talking about that because I just felt like some people should understand already. No different than when I exposed about NBA and a lot of the players, when they get to that level, they sign these oaths and agreements and they agree to let these science labs make Mach 5 synthetic clone versions of that player. You get what I'm saying? Facts. I told people that. You seen Richard Jefferson make a whole TikTok video speaking out against what I said. If it ain't real, why are you taking time out your day? Richard Jefferson, an ex NBA player, and I fucked with Richard Jefferson when I watched basketball. He had game. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't dissing him or nothing. Cause you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying though, if it's not real, why are you taking the time out your day to address just some crazy YouTuber? I'm just a crazy YouTuber. So why is an ex-celebrity NBA basketball star, Richard Jefferson used to be a star. You played with Vince Carter, Jason Kidd, you know, LeBron in Cleveland and won rings, you know, used to dunk on niggas, everything, right? You see, he made a TikTok video like saying that what I said about the robots in the NBA was completely false. You see, that's their way of putting out. That's the elite's way of putting out a face card to go against what I'm saying. That's how you know it's reaching and it's powerful. You get what I'm saying? Hey, look, we need you to go make a TikTok and clear that up. You know what I'm saying? All right, I got you. You feel me? So now, I say that to say what I'm about to say to you, you might agree with, you might not agree with, but I'm going to keep it real over rich with you. I'm going to give you the spiritual perspective of it. Okay, you have a few things going on with Russia versus Ukraine. You have the distraction point, the harness frequency. All right. Yeah, I'm going to give y'all the intents, the reasons behind it, okay? You have the frequency hijack. The hijack the frequency toward a negative vibration. All right? So once the frequency is hijacked, how do you hijack the frequency? You get everyone's attention. So this is why the media is powerful. They use the media to get everyone's attention. So let's look at attention. Another word for attention is energy. Remember, I taught you, I said whatever you give your attention to, you give your actual energy, your life force to. All right, so now we've never really went over the art of Nin, right? And then they got like a little anime show out about it. Like my daughter watch it, you know, Hunter x Hunter, where they kind of talk about Nin a little bit, a lot in the cartoon. But it's an anime. It's set up like look not real, but Nin is a real thing. It's your aura. It's your frequency around you. It can be drained and it can be used as a weapon as well. All right, if you are aware of how to use your aura. Now the elites, the oppressors are aware of how to use your aura field. You are not. Most people are not. So to drain you of your life force, all they have to do is get your attention. So that's the first reason they're using the Russia versus Ukraine tactic. The second thing is, at the end of the day, the system is falling. It's in game. So you do have disagreements going on amongst these elites, like no different than, you know how it be when a motherfucker losing a fight. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker losing a fight. What happened? They start fighting with themselves, you know what I'm saying? They start blaming each other, right? You know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you playing a video game with your homie, y'all playing Call of Duty or something, and in Call of Duty, y'all losing. What y'all start doing? If you don't do it, your homie gonna start doing it. Y'all damn near start arguing with each other, right? Y'all start blaming each other, right? Y'all start blaming each other for the reason that y'all are losing the overall game, okay? So that's what you're seeing with Russia and Ukraine. All right, too. It's the arguing amongst oneself. You know what I'm saying? Because we have celestials here that are working magic against them. All right. On top of that, it's really not even, it's Russia and Ukraine arguing and they getting into it amongst themselves. But the whole war of Russia versus Ukraine, that's not really transpiring like that. When you seeing them trying to fire these missiles and shit like that, that's all propaganda as well. You know what I'm saying? That's all staged and set up in the desert in the middle of nowhere. You hear me? Hollywood cameras, you feel me? Like they showing you them launching nuclear weapons and shit like that. None of that is transpiring in real life time. What's actually going on is it is a war taking place though, because you have a group of beings here, of elemental warriors here that live within the core of this planet. And they come from a completely different galaxy, but they have been working hand to hand with this planet since we created it. So you got these elemental beings, all right, that have been activated, All right, that's what all the earthquakes was about last year. All the earthquakes, and well, not just last year, the last 20 years. When you've been hearing all these earthquakes and things like that, a lot of the earthquakes is elemental warriors and celestial beings being unlocked and activated from deep within the core of the planet. All right, because there was electricity and things like that being used to keep them where they were at. Like they completely hijacked our entire planet. So when they showing you Russia versus Ukraine, that's a lot of the celestial beings warring against them. And then they showing you the disagreement that's going on between them amongst themselves when they saying Russia versus Ukraine. They not gonna put out the article and be like, hey, what's really going on is we over here having a spiritual warfare and we getting our ass kicked. So we have to stage this spiritual warfare as war amongst ourselves. And on top of that, we really are arguing amongst ourselves because we're losing this overall war. All right, that's what's going on with Russia versus Ukraine. And then if you notice, they're already giving you the propaganda to make America join in with the war. So they already got you set up for the 1-2 for America to join it. Even when they said from jump, when they was like, hey, when Biden was like, hey, if Russia does anything to Ukraine, then the U.S. gonna intervene. Remember that conversation, and then that conversation happened, and then Russia got in. Russia invaded Ukraine. We're going off what they showing you, right? Russia invaded Ukraine, all right? And then after Russia invaded Ukraine, all of a sudden, the U.S. said they ain't got nothing to do with that. People start making memes and talking shit about the U.S., right? There's people that's really caught up in the politics, in the real politics of believing what they seeing is real. So they caught up in the politics. They're like, oh, yeah, the U.S. ain't on shit. And then you're not paying attention to how at the same time the U.S. still allegedly is supplying weaponry to Ukraine. So that's them setting you up for the 1-2 of, okay, now America eventually intervenes. Like in every war, America has intervened, all right? And then America intervenes, and then now you see what's really going on, right? You're going to see it's all an illusion. All the politicians are clones and crisis actors, all right? All of this is to distract you from the fact that this shit is over with. The war that's taking place over there has nothing to do with a Russia versus Ukraine, where it's nuclear war going back and forth with each other. That's a spiritual war. That's a whole spiritual war. No different than in the Gullah War. It's how they told you that we didn't do what we did. How they told you in the Mexican-American War that America was fighting the Mexicans. That's a fucking lie. They was fighting us. In every war, they was fighting us. You get what I'm saying? Every war, they was always fighting us. Even in the motherfucking Vietnamese war, in the Vietnam War, rather, they was fighting us. Because if you know anything about about Vietnam and the Vietnamese, you'll know that they are the original Asiatics. So they are part of the God species. You get what I'm saying? The Vietnamese, the Philippines, and if you notice, they always attack them. They don't really be fucking with China and Japan because those are the manufactured Asians. Those are the humanoid. You get what I'm saying? Those are the humanoid Asians. That's the reason why they get put on the forefront. Like if you look at it, China and Japan is always on the forefront when you think of Asia. China is always shown as like the world leader in intelligence. Everything getting made in China. We supposed to look, if we talking about politics, the USA, we supposed to owe China. We supposed to be in debt to China. So pay attention to China, man, how they always have used China. You get what I'm saying? Because that's them. That's the human beings, the Asians. When I say Asians, the original Asiatics are the Vietnamese and, the Laos, and people in the Philippines. You get what I'm saying? Just like you got the real Mexicans are in actual Mexico. A lot of your real Mexicans are actually the descendants of Mayans and Incas and Aztecs. They are the Aztecs, really. So you can't really call them Mexicans. They are Aztecs and Inca. They are us, gods, goddesses. And then you got your manufactured Mexicans, the clone versions that walk around amongst us over here. And they are human beings, you feel me? And then that's why the Trump was trying to put the wall up. You got to think, why would he put a wall up to want to keep Mexicans out the country when it's a well-known fact Mexicans work harder than anybody, right? Why would you separate the kids at the border? You know what I'm saying? Like remember they were separating the kids from their parents at the border? Why would they do all that? Because those were the descendants of the real aboriginal beings to the land, nigga. So they don't want them to merge with us. You get what I'm saying? Just like when the Haitians started trying to merge this way, a war broke out at that border because they didn't want the real Haitians merging in over here because you got all this, cause we are still one. So that eventually them titles will drop. We get amongst them. You put these so-called African Americans with these so-called real Asians and these so-called Mexicans and these so-called Cubans and these so-called Puerto Ricans and Latino. You merge all these people together and put them in a group where they gotta live amongst each other. Eventually, them titles gonna drop down, and everybody gonna see that we the same, and that's when you get back to a tribal state. So they gotta always keep it looking like, you know, they gotta always keep that division there. You feel me? So right now they have to put eyes on what's going on over there in what you want to call Europe. Let's just say Europe, because if you know anything about Ukraine, Ukraine is one of Europe's biggest countries. So that's a war in where, y'all? Europe. Now, you asked me the last time you seen niggas warring in Europe. Go back in history. When the last time you seen two countries in Europe warring? It's usually Europe warring against another motherfucker or coming together as one to go against another motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a spiritual war taking place. You see what I'm saying? The Celestials is over there, right? So it's a spiritual war, celestial tax, right? A higher form of energy being used. They losing that war. So now since they've been losing this war against the Celestials, which are actually elemental beings, elemental warriors of the planet, like I was trying to tell y'all in Captain Planet, but they cut me off. Remember that, y'all? I didn't get to finish Captain Planet because they cut a nigga off. I wasn't even done. You see what I'm saying? I had like 2 hours left probably. I was just getting started because I was going to connect Captain Planet to what the fuck was going on. You see what I'm saying? But they, you know how they do. Boop, boot a nigga right up off here. That's what happened last Sunday, right? So you have elemental warriors that live within the planet. The Celestials, the ancient ones, activated because it's in game, because the Kundalini energy is rising, man. You see what I'm saying? These people cut all our trees down, took the land, slaughtered everybody, put spells on us, had us killing ourselves and killing each other. That's what we coming up out of now, them spells. You see what I'm saying? We starting to unify again, right? We getting back to right. So while all that's going on, this war taking place, yes, they getting their ass kicked. So, because they getting their ass kicked, guess what happened? Now they start arguing amongst each other. Now, they think they smart. Okay, well, we're going to use our argument in discord amongst each other as a face card to make them think that it's a war of Ukraine versus Russia. This shit coming down, but we can't let them know that. So we're going to make them think it's Russia versus Ukraine. And then we're going to put out all our crisis actors to stage it, to make it like it's really Russia versus Ukraine, when it's really Europe. All right, and who run Europe? The oppressors. Who runs Europe? The oppressors. What is the land of Europe spiritually? What does it represent? The dead part of the land. Remember when they landed here, right? We strengthened them. We taught them how to walk, talk, right? We got them out the Caucasus. The original 13 families. Now the Pleiadians wasn't never in no cave state. They were already an advanced extraterrestrial race. I'm talking about the hierarchy human beings, right? That's doing the work of the reptilians and the Pleiadians to set up the social engineering the way that they did to where the world is fucked up like it is today, right? So let's look at the hierarchy of human beings. The Pleiadians and the reptilians can have their interests, but the hierarchy of human beings, they are treason. That's treason because this our land, and they literally turned against us and helped these motherfuckers take our shit, right? That's what they did, right? Just how we get to where we at today. So when you look at what Europe represents anciently, that was always the dead part of the land. Like even when we went to civilize them, when we started teaching them how to walk upright and had a whole conversations, you feel me? When they was in the Caucasus, they was sleeping with their animals. You get what I'm saying? They didn't have there wasn't no pipes. It wasn't no bathroom system set up. It wasn't no agricultural taking place. It was none of that. We taught them. We taught them how to farm. We taught them all of that, right? We was teaching them that. But then, this is before they fully kicked off the war with us, right? Even before the war got kicked off, we was already starting to cast them to the dead part of the land because we found them in the Caucasus, right? We got them out the Caucasus Mountains. So when we got these beings out the Caucasus Mountains, we being we didn't know who the fuck they were and what they were. We had never seen, because when Satan was here, he was trying to create them and he never got to do that. That was the war in heaven. We whipped Satan, Zeus' ass, right? Right here on this planet. He never got to create that. So we never seen them. So when we did see them, it was like, oh, these are the creations that Zeus did. These are the creations that Zeus did. So understanding that, we like, okay, we could see where the animal DNA was placed at. So even though we went to reverse engineer, we started the process of reverse engineering their genetics. Right? I always tell the same story because it's the truth. It's the esoteric history. When we went to we keep forgetting it. You got to apply it to everything that's going on. It matters. When we went to reverse engineer their genetics, to this day, they still grow, some of them still grow tails, a quarter, a fourth of them. Some of them still got hair that'll go everywhere, all over their face, everywhere. Facts to this day. We never got to the point to weed out the need to feed a flesh. You see what I'm saying? We didn't eat no flesh before these beings hijacked our planet. We never ate flesh. We never ate flesh. You see what I'm saying? And we didn't get to that point of the science in the science experiment to where we was manipulating the genetics. We didn't get to remove those genetics. So when we were still trying to teach them, a lot of them was still turning on us. You know what I'm saying? Moving wild like barbarians. You got to remember, they got kicked off their own planet at first by Zeus himself, Satan. These human beings. When they was on Earth, they were so radical because there was a science experiment gone bad. They were so fucking radical that they even turned on him at a point and got kicked off their home planet of Nern and got cast out to Egypt. When they telling you the story in the Bible of Moses going to Egypt saying, let my people go, they not talking about Egypt in the Middle East. Because there was no Egypt in the Middle East. This was all Atlantis. Egypt is the name of a planet. Egypt is an actual planet. See what I'm saying? We talking esoterics, man. This is the University of Cosmic Intelligence. We gonna give you the real cosmic facts of your history. Not the watered down European version of your history. And when you come here trying to argue with me, you're arguing a European version of your history against esoteric facts. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? You're not really moving from a spiritual eye. You're moving from a physical point of view, viewing yourself as a human being still. You see what I'm saying? These beings already are, and it's in a breed to be like that. So when they came here and they eventually started turning on us, we was already casting some of them to Europe. We, our ancestors, we are the ones who named that part of the land Europe. Nothing grows in Europe. That is the dead part of the land. Remember in Lion King when Simba, when Mustafa was showing Simba the whole land and he told him that dark spot over there, he said, hey, that dark spot with a shadow at, don't go there. That's the dead part of the land. That's how it was here. Like we still had that little dark spot, and that was Europe. Nothing grew right there. It was nothing there. It was just, but nothing really grew there. It's not fertile. It's not alive. The land is not alive. Literally, like it's like the asshole of the planet. Europe is like the asshole of the whole realm. You got to get what I'm saying. Like, you know, like you got you, and then your asshole is really like the end of you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got some legs there, but really it's the end of you, your the eternal you organs and all that type shit. You feel me? So Europe, that's what Europe was. You feel me? It's the dead part of the land. Even to this day, ain't no major farming and that shit taking place in Europe, but they got all the buildings, Sicily, Italy, Florence, Paris, all that. They put all that there. The top designers, top wine distilleries, everything seems to come from Europe for it to be considered wealth, right? Because they run the world. They took our shit. So, of course, they're going to make their shit seem like it's popping. Right now, we feel like we look flyer in a mirror than we do if we put on our own shit. Yes, we do. That's how niggas be feeling. You know what I'm saying? Then if you can't go get by no designer, you just be jealous of the next motherfucker, so you would say something about it. But in reality, they've already put that spell over us to make us feel like we need the best of everything. You know what I'm saying? I'm just pointing it out. They make us feel like that. Then when you look at what's considered the best of everything, what we be considering wealth, it got all their names on it. You know what I'm saying? Well, oh, this come from Paris. This come from here. This come from here. You know what I'm saying? Even with grocery stores, you feel like, oh, I'm going to go to Whole Foods because they have fresher fruit, right? So you still, and who own Whole Foods, start looking behind who own these companies. You feel me? It's the same individual. So you got to understand what Europe represents spiritually is already the dead part of the land. They never left Europe because we told them this is your rope. This is your rope. That's why it's called Europe. This is your rope. You cannot cross these boundaries. So like the leaders of the original 13 families, they still are entrapped in Europe. Now they got like clones and Mach 5 synthetic robots, and they got like humans they can use to go do their work for them from out to go outside of Europe. But the main leaders are still cast and stuck in Europe. They can't go nowhere. That's why even with the royal family, their ass was always really in Europe. And then you seen them being of a reptilian breed, they'll pop out of Europe a little more and go somewhere else, but they mostly be in Europe. They gonna stay where they at damn near. You know what I'm saying? They running the whole world from right there. You feel me? So you gotta understand what's going on over right there is war in Europe. Don't even get caught up in like who it's supposed to be, Russia versus Ukraine or any of that. Look at it like it's war in Europe, which is where all the world powers at. You know what I'm saying? The UK, United Kingdom, all that what they call political powers that be, all that still come from Europe. Remember, don't get caught up in USA. Who the fuck own the USA? Spain, nigga. The Spaniards was the ones that set sail, nigga. And where is Spain located? In Europe, nigga. The Spaniards set sail and took over. If we going off what they taught us in their American history, right? Let's look at their lives. The Spaniards set sail and came to America. So then the Spaniards took over America and renamed it America, nigga. America is named after Amerigo Vespucci, that he's Spanish. You know what I'm saying? These are your Spaniards, right? And these are your Spaniards, right? So never forget that, nigga. Never forget that, nigga. Like, you don't get called America, nigga. America, whoever the president of America is the president of the company. You know what I'm saying? That's just the company. The motherfuckers who run this shit is in Europe, nigga. They're in Europe. You know what I'm saying? This is one company. And all these other countries are companies. But the powers, the motherfuckers who are responsible for our downfall, for socially engineering all this bullshit that we go through are stationed in motherfucking Europe, nigga. And they can't leave, nigga. Because why? They are bound there, nigga. This is Europe. You can never leave outside of this Europe. You are bound to the dead part of the land. We did that a long time ago. They can't leave that motherfucker. You feel me? They can't leave that motherfucker. You feel me? If they gonna leave, they have to completely leave the actual realm. You feel me? That's why they had people burning CERNs. They created CERN to burn all these wormholes into the stratosphere to be able to travel back and forth. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they did that. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand that it's war taking place in Europe. You know what I'm saying? That's what you should look at. And it's not like normally how it is. It's normally Europe versus somebody. Because when you say America, America is still ran by Europe, nigga. So when you're saying America, you should still dollar. Why you getting caught up in that? If you understand what's really going on, nigga, the euros is the dollar. It's the same motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? And the same motherfuckers that print up the pesos, print up the euros. The same motherfuckers print up the yen. For the Asians, print up the motherfucking dollar, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You feel what I'm saying? And who